Welcome to Start Lines and Swag Bags. The airing of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and is not intended to replace advice from professional medical or training staff. Thank you for listening and your support of the Flying Pig Project.
Hello and happy Start Lines and Swag Bag Tuesday. We're doing this in one take again. And for those of you who can see, if you're wondering why I'm laying on the couch with a brand new shamrock hat on, I will tell you why. I've been up since 4 and it's like 7 now, so I'm like exhausted. But today I was a volunteer at the Shamrock Shuffle. I was actually the safety coordinator, which even I laugh at. But since I'm the queen of swag, I have to tell you about this. This beautiful, it's like a crochet-ish knit hat. Stunning. That would have been enough. Nope. If you're a volunteer this year, you got a black windbreaker that said the shuffle on it. I would have been happy there. Nope. You get a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt. It's amazing. And now see, I am doing this in one take. I was going to show you my badge. I'll put a picture of it on the notes. Because apparently when I registered myself, I spelled my own last name wrong. So my badge has Rachel Kalanis. So yeah, I didn't get a medal, but I have a precious badge with my misspelled name. So let's jump into tonight's episode, which I'm dying. So it's a fuel swap episode, and if you listen to the whole episode, you'll understand what this new concept is that we're going to do every so often of a fuel swap. But it stars, well, I'm the host, but it stars Marty, the editor, and brother John from the Skokie Swifters. And the two of them, first of all, they do the same thing for a living. So like after the recording was turned off, the two of them just kept going back and forth because I host the room. And it's like 9:45 at night, and they're just going back and forth, rattling off things that I have no knowledge of. None. But it's fine. The episode is absolutely amazing. I totally messed up the very first launch of Fuel Swap, and you'll hear why in the episode. So I'm not going to say anymore. You have to listen to the whole thing. You have to. You have to promise me you will listen to the whole thing. With that, as always, thank you for supporting the Flying Pig Project. Embrace the crazy to unlock a world of possibilities, and buckle up because you're about to laugh really hard. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Start Lines and Swag Bags. This one is called Fuel Swap. And we'll explain in a little while what that means. But the first thing I want to do is bring back two former guests who, interestingly enough, don't actually know each other outside of this conversation. But Marty, I'm going to start with you. Introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. I'm Marty. I'm the editor of this podcast, if you don't know. What is there to say about me? I've been running for a while, part of the Fast Track group. That's about it. I mean, I've introduced myself a couple of times on the show, so.
That's true. Now, before I introduce my guest, I'm going to tell you.
I thought I was your guest.
Okay. Be my guest. Okay. So before I bring on the other guest, I'm going to tell you that when Marty edited his episode, now Marty doesn't know a good portion of the people who record. You've known a couple of fast trackers, but beyond that, you don't know these people, and you learn about them And you said, I want to meet this person.
That is true.
And I said, well, we'll have to arrange that. So other guests, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm John. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Marty. Pleasure to meet you. Finally,
Likewise.
Thanks for editing the podcast. I've been running for the Skokie Swifters since 2022, but I've been running for about, close to 20 years, I suppose. Ran cross country in college, became a USATF certified coach for a little while, but a new job is preventing me from going down that road again. So twice, I was assistant coach of cross country and distance track after I graduated college for a little while at the collegiate level. And so twice I've tried to make these inroads into coaching, but more lucrative opportunities, I suppose, have waited. So I continue to just be a recreational runner in my spare time.
So I just thought of something. So I have a fast tracker and a Swifter on the same show.
Should we go
Should
we put our neon green tanks on and then we'll look? No one will be able to tell us apart.
Okay. First of all, John, they're yellow.
They are not. They're green. I'm somewhat disappointed that I'm the only one wearing green right now, and you two apparently got the red memo.
Yeah, that's my bad. I guess, like, can you pinch me? How do you do a virtual pinch? Because it is like the day of my people.
Right, exactly, yeah. Of anyone here.
Yeah, I'm 100. Like, my last name is McCarthy. No relation to like Joseph or Kevin or the other ones. And no relation to the UFC referee John McCarthy. Though, like, I don't think he's that bad of a guy. Anyway.
I was about to make a beautiful point.
And we ruined it.
I
was about to say, I am fortunate enough to have two people from both of my running clubs, and we are discussing something today that has nothing to do with the running clubs.
Right.
That is true.
Our topic tonight is nutrition. Now, let's get some things out of the way. Because we will be talking about nutrition and possibly specific brands, let's review the disclaimer. Don't do what I do. Don't do what Marty does. Don't do what John does. Do your own thing. Okay. Now, let me tell you about Fuel Swap. Fuel Swap was actually Marty's idea that I loved. And the whole idea was to get two people who don't train with each other, and in this case don't even know each other, which to me adds an even more fun element to it, onto the show to discuss nutrition. Now, before the show, they both had to fill out questionnaires telling me what kind of fuel they use, if they have any allergies, and all that kind of stuff. And Marty doesn't know what John said, and John doesn't know what Marty said. So this is when I'm going to start to lose it, because you can't even make this up. So I went to 4 different stores. There's not one store that carries all the brands. I'm just going to say that. And I got John's fuel, I got Marty's fuel, and I got a surprise fuel that we're all going to try. And then I got 2 boxes, and I sent John's fuel to Marty, and I sent Marty's fuel to John. Beautiful. We all log on tonight. Wonderful. Marty's on first, and he holds up the box, and he turns it around. He goes, why is there a J on my box? And then John hops on, and I say, turn your box. And there's an M on his box. So there is. Yeah.
Wait, but does that mean that that's Marty's fuel in John's box?
We don't know. It's going to be a surprise. There's a surprise on top of it. It's so meta. Like, you may have had, don't think it's like Schrodinger's fuel right now. You don't know, if the fuel is alive or wrong. And so I think that, I really
hope it's not alive.
But it is Schrodinger's fuel right now. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Better on Apple TV? Right now it is in a state of superposition. So it could be a million different types of fuel. We have no clue.
This is exciting, honestly. I'm
I know. And if it is my fuel, then you like bought me stuff I'm going to use in the morning.
right.
So like it's not that big a deal.
So it's a win-win all around.
Yeah.
So Marty's actually the winner on that one because, yeah, he has expensive taste. But so here's the thing.
Are you cheap?
Well, we'll see about that.
Here's the problem. So I'm sitting here as the host, dying over the fact that on the very first Fuel Swap episode, because this is going to be part of the podcast, we're going to be bringing people on to do this, and the thought that I may have messed up the very first one is weighing heavily on my shoulders. So we are actually going to have John and Marty open up what they think is supposed to be each other's fuel. And then we're going to talk about nutrition because I can't go this whole episode knowing that I possibly mess this up. So open your boxes. And in there are 2 packages. One of them has your initial. And the
You
other
mean
one
has the other person's initial?
Yeah, okay. So Marty is holding up. First of all, shout out to me.
Yeah, the packaging is impressive.
No. Marty, just for you, because of hoping what you're going to do next month. If you'll notice, there are blue and orange packets.
Wow.
Okay, I got. This doesn't. Well, I can't. No, I don't
Now
know.
Open that. What is that? Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. So you both can open up the one with your initial on it and see what's in it.
Wait, Marty's initial.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
The initial, not
the initial. Okay.
How?
And we'll see.
Do you want me to be subtle about this or not subtle about this?
Is it black?
It is black.
It's black? Yeah,
Yes.
I screwed it up. There you go. I screwed it up. So, Marty, hold yours up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And John, hold yours up.
Oh, okay. This is still going to be an interesting podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to try.
Oh, you're doing both. Okay.
Okay. First of all, not the whole thing. But so now we know that you do have your own fuel. So there I've given you your next race fuel.
This is great because usually I have the caffeinated ones and this is a non-caffeinated one. So that'll be handy.
That's really thoughtful. That's just thoughtful.
It is. Yes.
With every part of me, I don't want to open this. After we talk about your nutrition stories, then we will jump into the trying, and I will try both of these, and then you'll open the other package, and we'll all try a new flavor. All right, hold on, Marty. So
yes.
I'm going to have you go first, because in your mind, because this Fuel Swap was and is your baby.
Yes, I mean, okay. I did come up with this idea.
So here's the thing. Tell us how should we start?
So I think everyone has gone through some type of evolution of like starting with certain fuels and trying different things and then eventually landing on something that may or may not work. So I thought we could talk about that a little bit, how our own experience was with learning fueling and all of that. So I can start. I think when I got into running, fueling was not something that I considered at all. It was more about like footwear for me, about what shoes to be wearing, and not really thinking about fuel. When I started racing, though, it was like they started putting fuel on the courses, and that was the first time I'd ever seen like a gel is at a race on the course. I'd never seen what that was. I never used one, never tried it. And so I think the first time that I actually used it was on a course at an aid station.
During a race?
Yes. So that's why I say there's an evolution here. And what's that?
Transmutation, even.
Transmutation, of course. And the interesting thing is, the thing that was on the course, I think the first thing that I used is John's fuel of choice now, which is the goo. And so I actually used that for quite a long time when I first started. And I'll say the texture of that. And I mean, if you've had my preferred fuel, texture is, I can't really say anything about texture, but.
Okay. So I love that you actually can remember like the first time. John, do you remember your first time like experiencing fuel?
I thought we were just going to stop and do you remember your first time? No. First time fuel. No, I think it was also similar. I think it was at that half marathon in Springfield, because same way when I got into running, it was just like down 2 glasses of water and get out the door. And then for longer runs, 20 years ago, I didn't know any better, so stuck Gatorade in like a handheld, I think, and then would just be dead, like completely dead by the end of runs. And then I think I started eating chocolate chip Cliff Bars for like 7 years with like banana and peanut butter toast, I think was what I did.
You didn't bring that on the run, did you?
No. I'm just saying, like, pre-run. I didn't bring anything run at all, because I didn't start really running anything over the half marathon for a long time because of cross country. So like you're not fueling in those shorter, like faster races. So it wasn't really until I started like adding the half marathon into the mix, like post college, that I really, the long runs in college we just suffer through with Gatorade, I think. And then, fueling didn't happen until much later. And then I think I had some kind of goo like you in the middle of a race and was like, oh, I feel better at mile 9. Like I can kick now.
Yeah.
But I've just kind of stuck with it. I'm not that big. I'm not that much into change. And so I've done the Martin gels. And I felt like it was like Soylent Green as people.
Okay. Reminder that I am willing to be the guinea pig of this episode.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm not going to share my first time because I'm going to do more of these episodes, and I'm not going to tell the same story every time. And I don't even remember, because for me it is different because I am a slower runner. I can say that. I tend to be on a course for longer. And so my fueling, of course, does look different than what the two of you would do during a half and even like during a 10K. So we're not it's not apples and apples here. For you two, it's similar apples. And for me, it's an orange. Okay.
So are you fueling, because you're out there longer, you're fueling more?
Yes.
How often are you like a gel goo or a bag of bagels sort of?
I'm never going to live down the bag of bagels. That was the best. That's an interesting question. I have, you know what? I've done the gambit. I've done the goo. I've done chews. I've done everything, because when I race, I'm not winning anything. Because for 5Ks that I would actually like maybe take an age group, you don't fuel. I'm not fueling during 5K. But for the longer ones, I was never really at a full exertion that anything is going to upset me. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times when we talk about like stomach upset and all that, we're talking about you are going at max effort and then trying to find something that your body will handle when the blood is being pulled away from your stomach at that point. And what can you eat? And I'm just, behind you strolling on and eating goo chocolate, whatever. 'Cause
Oh, I can't do the chocolate. Rachel,
Chocolate, no.
you're so good.
you can't.
Okay. So
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
No.
No.
Makes this mystery a little bit more concerning.
Yeah. Oh no.
no,
Schrödinger's duel.
I will tell you that the mystery, my goal for the mystery pack is to always try something new myself. So I'm guessing whether or not you've had it or not. But keeping in mind that, I've been trying fuel for a long time too. And of course, the time at the mile, I had some other brands I got to try. So I'm really searching. That's why I went to 4 stores, because I'm looking for things that I have also never tried.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
All right. But Marty, so we're going from the goo at a half marathon that you never had before. Where are we going with that after that? What did we start doing?
Well, I actually stuck with goo and goo only. I never carried water on really I never carried water during races. I didn't carry water during any training runs. So I would just bring 2 or 3 of the goo things with me. And I started getting to the point where I was like, okay, it's a half marathon. I've got, I need to eat one of these every 3 miles. And so I started to figure out how many I needed to bring with. But then I found out that goo is one that you need to take with water. It's like the consistency of it is meant to be eaten with water. And so that changed things for me a little bit when I kind of learned that it's actually much easier to consume if you have water with you. But then, it was I started carrying water on training runs. We started playing around with having some carbs in the water. So scratch or something like that in the water instead of just eating these gels for the entire time. And that seems to be useful for me, at least, because it keeps the intake consistent over time instead of loading a whole bunch all at once and then kind of crashing and loading a whole bunch again, to have a little bit in the bottle. But that leads to all kinds of logistics problems of carrying. At the Chicago Marathon, I carried I had one handheld that was full of water with scratch, and then I had a bag or a pouch of scratch that I was going to add to the water bottle. So I was going to finish the first one at the halfway point, and I was going to fill up the handheld with water and then add the powder to it. And that was just an absolute mess. I think I got maybe half of the pack in the water and half of it was kind of all over me. And so I didn't really get the fuel that I needed there. And so that's the thing that I'm playing with right now, is how do you carry all of this stuff? Because I started doing scratch in the bottles. I have gels. And then I found that I cramp up towards the end of marathons. And so I started taking sodium tablets with me.
Mm-hmm.
And those are I actually tape them to myself or the gels, which becomes also complicated. I've had some failures with that method as well.
So there's a couple things. So when I say don't do what we do, don't run without water. That's not a smart idea. Now, having said that, I have myself run up to 10 miles without bringing anything with me. Because some of it is knowing your body, and some of it is also, I've heard of people doing unfueled runs on purpose versus a fueled run on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to piggyback on I don't know how to carry everything. because you have the gel, you have maybe an electrolyte tablet. I don't drink Gatorade, so I tended to bring sodium tablets.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, because everything has a purpose. They're all this is a slow runner issue more than they all are timed differently. So like the gel, the fuel would be for me like let's say every 3 miles. Okay, but the sodium is every 45 minutes. But this is and by the end you have a spreadsheet that you have to follow to make sure everything's right. And I think at that point, I know personally, you overthink it to the point where you're going to have a problem because, now any issues you have, you're blaming on the plan that you made because you overthought it.
So how do you, the tablets are the things that are the most like flummoxing to me to carry and then consume. Like, what's your solution for the tablet?
My solution is to start walking, take it slow. Again, different goals for different races. If when you're a slower runner, yes, I keep saying slower, like brakes are built in.
But how do you carry it? That's the thing.
Oh, for a half or I was going to say a full, but right. For a half, I would absolutely wear a vest.
But like, so I started out by carrying like a little plastic Ziploc baggie with the things in there. And then I'm like running and it's like stuffed in my pocket and I have to open the little baggie and then get one out. And like, you don't just like dump a bunch of pills into your vest, right?
John, take this one. What do you do?
Oh,
how do you carry yourself?
I feel like I'm kind of a minimalist in a little way. I've never done sodium tablets. This fall at Indianapolis, I cramped up with a half mile to go. Right. And now I've reconsidered maybe trying them at Detroit this fall, but we'll see. No, I just take like 5 goos and pray to the running gods that goals. I was there was like I'm going to take it there, but I was a little worried that this was going to become like a poop horror story podcast. But
well, that is a later question, but
I'm an open book in that way. But I just feel like sometimes I feel like the running club is actually just like a poop your pants support group. And I felt like when you're talking about fueling, you're basically just like, what can I eat on a run so I don't have to like beg Starbucks to let me in?
Well, I think that's exactly the experimentation that you have to go down is like, how do you not poop your pants?
Yeah, pretty much. I've just had good luck with goos. Once you find something that works, don't do it. And I feel like anytime I've had a problem, it's actually less to do with what I fueled with on the run and more what I chose to do the night before. It's like, fueling with like 12 Coors Lights was not the ideal solution for this run today.
I have a pretty similar track record. It's like the stuff that you bring is not the real cause of distress. It's I should not have had whatever it was, the burger last night, or even like for lunch right before I left on the run.
Okay, so I have a question. As long as we're now that we're on poop, we're gonna stay here for a second.
We were bound to get here.
I just took the shortcut. So.
Okay, this is a serious question. Now, because we all have our daily habits, okay?
Yeah.
And hold on.
Okay.
And I do drink a big ass thing of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
But like an hour after I get up, I don't need it in the morning, and it doesn't actually have the desired effect. But do either of you try to drink coffee in the morning to
every morning? Yep, every morning.
Yeah, and same. Like just yeah, I try to get at like a half hour is what I try to keep it to, but like at least a little bit of coffee just so I'm addicted. So you got to get that little like kick just so the
No,
eyes go.
not for the
No,
caffeine kick.
no, but it's a double-edged caffeine sword, and so the eyes get heavy, and then the other part also gets heavy, depending how you want to look at it. But
Yeah, I think that's right.
yeah, and I don't know. Sometimes if it's not moving, you got to do a poop loop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you just do the poop loop. It's like a mile. You just like do the mile around your block, and then you come
You gotta
back.
stay close.
Stay close, yeah, and then you head back out.
Hold on.
Do you not know about this?
No,
Hold on. First of all, John said you have to do a poop loop. Okay, and Marty's like, well, yeah. And
Of
I'm
course,
like,
yeah, obviously.
Wait. This is the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you wake up, you get the coffee going, and you got to schedule a meet, right? You got to run to get on, and things have not happened yet. You can't just go. You're not doing an out and back right now because you're going to get 5 miles out when this thing hits.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't want to get 5 miles out and be like on McCormick and Lincolnwood, right? Like, then you're just risking a felony or something.
Okay, so I would just like to not thank you, the two of you who, because it seems like you are part of the porta potty problem at races sometimes. Before everybody's in line, and for some reason I always get behind someone who clearly had a good colon cleansing before I got in.
I mean, I would think that most people are doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a limited set of people there that are working on the same thing.
Yeah, just statistically speaking, right?
Yeah.
There's like a couple thousand people going in there. I think.
but that is what you're going there to do, right?
Yeah, it's
like that's.
No, I'm going to pee. I don't know. No, I have never actually before I did a Ragnar. I had never ever had to go to a porta potty, and
that's
I do my best to say it again.
It's almost unbelievable to me. I've used like every potty within a 20-mile radius of me.
I know my body.
Do you not? So, have you mapped out the porta potties in your area?
Me?
Either of you? I mean,
no. I just kind of stick to some. I know where they are along my course. Like,
well, yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, I know how far it is from here to the next one. They're doing some construction at the school, so I can. Right there, or like I know they have one in the parking lot in the downtown area, so I can.
Yeah, I also know like where the thick tree areas are, and like where, like it's where you're good to go. Like I mean, I call it the one sock run. Sometimes you like leave with 2 socks and you come home. The way it goes.
The sock. That's a great. I mean, yeah, the sock. I never considered that.
You're a lucky man.
No, not because I haven't had to, but I just didn't consider the usefulness of the sock.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I okay.
How's this for content, Rachel?
Well, you're talking.
This is going to be a good edit.
Right. But so we are like, okay, we're at the point that I'm gonna try your gels.
Right.
But before I do, John. Now again, we joked that you should not listen to any of our advice. Okay. But what's like one, if you could, like, because you coach.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice that you may not follow, but you think is valid advice?
Take the goo before you feel like you actually need it. Is one I'm pretty big on. So I think a lot of people like say like, oh, during a half I'm going to take one at like I don't know, they usually say like 10K and 10 mile or something, and that's way too late. I usually tell people, depending on like how fast you're running, to take it around like honestly like mile anywhere between mile 3.5 and 4.5. Take your first one, and then take another one around like mile 8.5, and usually like that'll hit your stomach for those like last 2.5 painful miles, and you really got to gut it out. And so in a marathon, I say the same thing. Just start taking them that early, like usually about a mile to 2 miles before you think you need to take it is when I recommend taking some fuel.
And it's a valid point, because it's the same thing with, don't wait till you're thirsty to drink.
Yeah.
Because if you wait till you're thirsty to drink, you have now passed the point when you should have started drinking. Okay, so I'm going to try John's first. Now,
Okay.
this is a good old goo. There's no caffeine in it.
Nope.
Now, again, I used to down the chocolate ones like crazy. This is strawberry banana, and I
That's
can't
a good flavor.
how disgusting this sounds. But, and I know some of you can't see this, but I'm gonna, and I'm only trying a little because
So are you gonna rate this on the scales that we've established?
Yes.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just like it's a gentle sweetness, right? It's just like a gentle sweetness. The other ones are like or something.
You know what it tastes like? I know this is gonna sound weird. It definitely tastes like a goo, but it's like concentrated yogurt, kind of.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not supposed to have a tang, and I got a bad one. Okay, what was the rating I had to?
So it was like the texture. Give it on a scale of 1 to 5.
Like yogurt, yeah. Texture. I'd say 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And then what did I say? The texture of flavor, that was an obvious one.
I mean, 4 out of 5. I mean, it's not bad.
Okay.
I would, yeah.
What about mile 18 consumability?
Oh, first of all, let's clarify that the longest run I've ever done was 18.12 miles.
All right. So could you eat it at mile 18?
I actually think I could, and I will tell you, it's a little easier on the palate than the chocolate. Oh, the chocolate's really good.
I don't think that's true.
I should send this over if you need some like visual content in the Skokie Swifter group chat. That one of them that we have, I photoshopped the goo wheel. Like, have you seen the goo wheel they have? Like, it's an actual goo artifact that they made, and it's like all the goo flavors. But I photoshopped like what the real names of them should be. So like birthday cake. So like, birthday cake. I have it on my phone somewhere. But like birthday.
Yeah, you'll have to send that over.
Yeah, I'll have to send it over. Birthday cake is like grow up.
Okay, for the record, just so you all know, I have never tried that flavor, and that will not be one that will make an appearance.
Birthday cake?
Ever. All right, Marty, before okay, disclaimer, I have a major texture aversion, and I have heard that the texture of this particular product is going to be a problem for me. But
have you not ever tried one of these?
I've never tried one. Okay. So I've tried like the goo. I've tried the goo. I've never tried the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be
so.
It's gonna
I
be
will say.
Time.
I will say before you eat this, this is my preferred fuel, and I still have trouble eating it.
Oh my God. What? Okay,
And I think you'll find out why when you dive in.
I'm picturing like a bite of aloe vera.
Do you have a bucket?
This is if you're not watching, you really should go to the video. Okay, but Marty, I'm going to give you the chance as well, just like with John. If you had a recommendation, and we recommend a lot of things we don't follow, that's okay. But what sound piece of advice do you think you could pass on to?
Okay. I think the thing that is really critical is to train with the fuel that you're planning to use. So even on, and I will say I am terrible at this. I ran today and brought nothing with me. But even on like shorter runs or the easy runs, to bring the thing that you're planning to use like well ahead of the race, so that you figure out like, will this require a porta potty? Yes or no? That's the key. And then two, like, does it, do you like it? Can you eat it while you're running? How do you carry it? Like all those logistics things, you can kind of figure that out during training. So that piece of it, I think I can confidently say that's an important component of this.
I 100% hands down agree. Nothing new on race day means nothing new on race day. When a lot of people are going to go do these big events, I tell them when they would come in to buy fuel, have you looked to see what they're giving away at the marathon or a half marathon? And if you know, try and duplicate that. Okay, now I'd like to say a couple things. So this is just tell me so that I don't have to it's Morton Sport Gel.
Yep.
I'm going to tell everyone who's never tried this, the package. The interesting thing is you could see, first of all, there's a definite size difference in the two packages. This is a big gel. I feel this is a lot.
Correct.
I feel that it's obvious that I'm stalling as much as possible.
Gotta go.
It's amazing that they can charge so much for this and people buy it.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to do
You this is as much as possible out the gate.
Yeah, you gotta, don't put your finger in there.
No, don't do that. No, that's
disgusting.
So I'll tell you the way that I do them is I grab it kind of right in the middle and I sort of like pinch it in half. And so I do it in two, I'm going to say pieces, and you'll understand why I said pieces in a moment, but I do it in two. You could take a little bit. Yeah. Little off the top. I wouldn't look at it. And notice there's no flavor. It's not a.
No, that's not true.
No, there's no like flavor name. It's not a strawberry banana.
Oh yeah.
There are no like. There's this one and there's the caffeinated one. There's no other variety.
Okay. Going back for the third little bite.
It's like it always reminds me of like. Oh, sorry.
I'm also trying not to have a lot because it's like 9:00 at night. Okay. Couple of interesting observations. It's not horrible. Now,
what a rave review.
That being said, while you're fueling, while you're racing, you're not taking like eating little teeny tiny bites of it. So right. I'm obviously not going to chuck half this package because I'd be up chucking half this package. But the texture actually, it just melts.
That has not been my experience.
Yeah,
I keep going.
Because you're taking these tiny little bits. It's a very different experience than.
Okay, well that's enough of that.
It's yeah. I've always thought it was like Jello cake or like what's that cake called? That like is it like Copaceq or something? What is that they used to make with like the fruit in the cake and olives and things? I mean, it's from like the 50s.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I know what you're talking about. It's made from like bones. It's made from the collagen in the bones.
Yeah, it's really gelatinous. It has a anyway, that's what the Morton girls always reminded me of.
All right.
Sorry. You're like your 90-year-old aunt would always have it at like.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about. All right. So now you get to try.
Rate it. You didn't rate it.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so the texture is obviously the first one.
The text. You know what? The texture, I didn't find it offensive. That being said, of course, I didn't take half the package, but it wasn't terrible.
Okay, that's surprising me because the texture is the thing that like is shocking when you first try it.
I expected, and again, maybe if I took like a big bite, which I'm not going to do, but I expected it to be more. When I say like I have a texture version, I mean like mussels and like oysters and things like that consistency. Mm-hmm. So I was envisioning this to be more like that.
Yeah, it's more like a Jello shot.
Yeah, okay. By the way, I no, not at mile 18, not at mile 8, not at 18 feet. No, that is not a race.
Okay, so
that's never going to be a race day fuel for me.
What about the flavor?
Oh, it's not bad. It has an aftertaste.
It does. It sticks with you for a little bit. And the caffeine one is a little bit different too. It's got a little more bitterness to it.
I mean, I'm also at the same time recognizing that I probably ate like 1/16 of that. Mm-hmm. And those are $4 gels.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm only saying that. I'm not saying that for, oh my God, woe is me. I spent $4 on it. No. That's like $4 for a gel. That's a lot of money.
They are expensive.
I was very surprised at. That was probably one of the most expensive options that I saw.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give my opinion of nutrition while you are trying to break open those other packages I sent you, which have my. I tried to keep it very low key, but the only thing I'm going to say about nutrition is piggybacking on Marty's, nothing on race day. You have to try everything, and you cannot take. Hold on, I'm talking, and you cannot take someone else's opinion, which is the whole point of fuel stuff. You can't take their opinion on a fuel. Marty loves this. I would not use it. John likes his. I could see using John's. I could. You have to try it. Don't listen to anybody else. All right. So hold up what we're trying.
I'm not excited about this.
What? No, okay. Hold on. We are trying. It's called Untapped All Natural Athletic Fuel Salted Cocoa Flavor. It is infused Vermont maple syrup. Now, to me,
this is just a package of maple syrup.
No. They actually do make a package that is pure maple syrup. This is supposed to have other things to make it taste like salted cocoa.
The ingredients list is maple syrup, cocoa, and sea salt. So like this has to be mostly maple syrup.
Yes. So my first question is: have either of you ever tried this brand?
No.
I have not.
Okay. Marty, why? I mean, this is the complete opposite of your fuel in every way possible. Why are you not looking forward to trying this?
I mean, I guess like if me sitting here right now, it's probably going to be fine. I enjoy maple syrup. I could drink a little package of it. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I guess the salted cocoa, I'm not generally like a sea salt chocolate sort of. I like chocolate, but the salty piece doesn't always work for me flavor wise. But I just can't imagine. Like I've tried the honey stinger thing, which is maybe close to this. It's just like straight up honey in a stick.
Oh yeah.
I cannot imagine that this would work well for me out on a run.
Yes. Well, open it up. John, you can go first. Marty's already got it open. So
Yeah, I'll let Marty go first.
you go first.
I got a tiny little. I'm gonna have to open this.
I just want to say that like I'm equally not as excited about trying this. I feel like I'm still coming back from a running injury, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get injured again eating
from this.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first piece of review of this is that the form factor, it's very large. I mean, you complained about the Morton, but like this is another inch or so. And when I tore it off, and I don't know how this is going to go, I got like just a tiny little opening. And so I don't know if how much is going to come out of here, but
Like a champ.
It's pretty liquidy. Plenty came out.
Wow, he's gonna finish that whole thing.
Oh, I gotta finish the whole thing now.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay. John, if you want to eat it, you can.
Okay.
Before I provide my feedback.
Yeah, that's fair. That way it won't like.
I don't want to bias you in any way.
Do I get
That's
to try
fair.
mine too before you say anything? Because
you pop it open.
Yeah. I'm going to see if John can. I can't, there's no way I could eat this whole thing.
Yeah, this is like hot ones, right? But like with running fuel. Sean Evans eats like however much hot sauce the guests eat. So like I guess if you just ate the whole thing, I have to now eat the whole thing, right? Like it's just fair.
Yeah.
I also got a tiny hole, but I like to have a bigger.
I will tell you it works fine.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty liquidy. It got there's already like a little splash. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I felt like I just ate medicine. Sorry. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
Hold on. There's no way I can shotgun this thing.
You might accidentally shotgun it. It goes fast. This is great audio right now.
ASMR.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we've all formed our own opinions. Marty, go ahead.
I will say it was better than I expected. The chocolate, when they list the ingredients here, the percent that is cocoa must be extremely small, because that was just almost straight maple syrup. I couldn't tell if like that there was anything else on there or in there. I've been just thinking about pancakes now. But I don't think I could bring that with me and eat it on a run. I think that would really wreck me very quickly. But flavor-wise, it's not bad.
Okay. John?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I gotta give it like, if we're doing out of 5, I gotta give it like a 2 or 2.5. I feel like I could not bring that on a run with me. That would just absolutely, I think, go right through me and destroy me.
Yes.
I don't like pancakes, so like I'm not a maple guy either.
Whoa.
I know it's like being American and not liking apple pie or something as like a runner and not liking pancakes. But I know, spicy hot take, but it just felt like Yeah, I don't know. It just reminded me too much of breakfast, and honestly, my stomach feels kind of heavy, and I'm just like, nah, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone. It's not good. And I could maybe see, I could maybe see eating it at the end of a very long run when you're like totally tapped out and everything tastes good, and like that sweetness probably would be like such a rush back to life. But like, I'm a real fruity tart flavor kind of guy. Like I want the citrus on the run, like that like sharp sour tang on a run. Like I crave that, and the sweetness is like anathema to like what I crave all the time. Okay, Rachel, how did you take it?
So interestingly enough, John, I will tell you that one of the reasons that I choose the brand of salt, it's not salt stick, I don't remember, to chew is because they're like little sweet tarts, but they're tart flavor, and they're so good. So I want to take them. So I have to tell you that as someone who buys maple syrup organically and uses it as her only sweetener, that was awful. I did not like that at all. First of all, to me, maple syrup should never be that runny. So I don't understand what happened there. I did not taste cocoa. I did not taste salt. And I don't know if it's John saying the medicine thing, but after I finished, I actually had to stop for a second, and I felt like I had taken cough medicine.
Yeah.
I taste it now in the aftertaste definitely has the cough medicine. That's crazy though, because they must just choose like terrible maple syrup then. Because there's nothing in here that would.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on John when he says, at the end if you're tapped, and of course they tap for syrup, and so
that pun is 3 levels deep.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you caught that. You made me seem way smarter than I am.
John, I got you, man.
Thank you.
All right. I'll tell you what's interesting about this episode. I really thought that Fuel Swap could be like a 15-20 minute, but there's no way. But actually, I think it's because you guys, this is a great panel we have here. I don't know how every time we start something new, I say it's the best one yet.
It is, but just by definition, right?
I think Marty's going to have a ball editing this. All right.
I am curious.
Yes.
If you do more of these, yes. I am curious. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I'll change the results. This is going to be like a Schrodinger's cat type situation. But how far into the episode will it be the first person mentioning poop or poop your pants? Yeah. We can figure out the time that we made it, and I imagine it's going to be in every episode.
That's how we're going to rate the episode. Well, I already have one person lined up for the next one, and I'm not 100% sure she would go to that story. I guess it's going to depend who I pair her with. All right. So, John, my fellow Swifter, wearing the F3 shirt. Nice. Marty, my editor. This was such a great idea that you came up with.
Thank you.
I think the fact that I messed it up in this case actually didn't hurt it. The only person it hurt was me because I had to try everything. Of course, in the future, I will make sure that the right person gets the right fuel. That being said, thank you both for coming back.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
But to everybody listening, thank you for listening to the first, there's another word I was going to use. What's the word? Launch? No, that's not it. Launch of the Fuel Swap series. This is going to hang around because this was a lot of fun. Thank you both. And as we say at the Flying Pig Project, embrace the crazy to unlock a world of possibilities. But don't try that Morton stuff. No. Bye, everybody. All my reactions are off. Bye.